Yo, 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 what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Drop Your Three Cents. We are back in the building. We are back in the building. How are you? That's my mute, sir.
Yeah, that was a swaggy little beat right there.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, brother. I can't complain. How you feeling?
I'm tired than a mother sucker, but we here.
There you go. There you go. What's up, Jess?
Hello.
And I'm your boy, Third Degree. We got Quez in the house. We got our lovely guest, Jessica and Tish. Are you ready to roll?
Well, you see them bundles over there. You know what I'm saying? Bundled up.
What's going on, y'all?
Man, long week. I didn't get no sleep last night.
Me either. I'm so tired.
Man, me too.
I got baggage under my eyes.
Man,
it's a good thing this thing has filters because I put it on to smooth them out a little bit. They're there.
I ain't got no apple juice either, so I'm about to be doing this raw.
I'm drinking sparkling water, so let's see how great I am.
Hydrate yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with a little hydration.
Shit.
Okay, it's Friday and the podcast.
I needed this. I've been waiting, man. It's about to be September. So summer about to be over. Oh man.
I'm enjoying these cooler temperatures. Yeah, it was time
man,
for
it. God's turning it right back up though. It's about to be like 100 something next week. I'm like, I can't stand it.
They ain't reach us yet. It's still hot as fish grease out this mud.
I can't do it.
What's up, Jess? What's going on, man?
Hello.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay.
Just okay?
Feeling okay. Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I need you to do better.
What's good, Jamal? How you doing?
Big J.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. Hopefully you're doing good, man. Hopefully you're doing good. Make sure
up for Jamal.
Definitely. Make sure you guys are hitting the like, share button. If you're on shout out to all the YouTubers, welcome. If you're on Facebook, hit the like, share. If you're watching, make sure you tapping that screen. You're tapping the love, tapping the like. You're sharing it out to your peoples. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and then the notify button too.
Hey man, run them subscribers up, man. Y'all, we need them subscribers. So come on, man. Let's put it together so we can start this real motion. You know what I mean? So
we doing it, man. Numbers have been pretty good. They've been pretty steady. You know what I'm saying? So, also too, as you can see, you see the DY3 merch up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to kingthird.com and get it.
Show mine off again.
Show your merch. Show your merch.
Right.
Go to Drop Your 3 Cents.
Standing on business all 2024.
Go to dropyour3cent.com or you can go to kingthird.com. Cop your merch. We official like a whistle. You know how we do up in here.
Hey, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to get me one of them too. Don't worry.
Yeah, we doing good. We just tired. It's been a rough week. I had a lot to take care of, trying to run the show and the studio and family and man, it's been a lot. Your boy is exhausted with no sleep last night.
Hey, man. Hey, you got it.
We show up for y'all and we're here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we do. So hopefully you enjoy the show.
It's definitely for y'all, because if it was for me, I'd be in the bed.
Yes, in the bed. Right so 7.
Definitely doing this for y'all. So you guys be
time to get into a little bit of ratchet.
Let's run it.
It's your boy Third Degree, and I'm back with more ratchet news. So before we get into some ratchet news, we have a couple of birthdays we got to celebrate real quick. Yesterday was the legendary King of Pop's happy heavenly birthday. He would have been 66. R.I.P. to the GOAT. Another happy heavenly birthday goes out to my grandfather, Donald George. I love you, miss you, R.I.P. Another birthday shout out to my cousin Nikki. Her birthday was the 26th. Happy birthday to my aunt Lalizi, my fellow Laker fan. You know, much love, much love. And then last but not least, our very own Queen D. Happy birthday to all you Virgos. Let's get into the show. What's good, y'all? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Donald Trump and VP Kamala Harris have officially agreed to a debate on September 10th in Philadelphia, hosted by ABC with no notes. That means straight off the dome. So this is going to be raw, and I can't wait. And speaking of dumb Donald, Special Counsel Jack Smith accused the former president of using his role as candidate for office to overturn the election results. So that means, essentially, that since Trump packed the Supreme Court and they ruled in his favor that he has immunity, they found another loophole or way to go around it to make sure that he's formally charged. So stay tuned, because this will be interesting. And especially since it's debate season. But speaking of Kamala, the National Federation of Republican Assemblies makes argument in a newly adopted resolution citing the 1857 Dred Scott versus Sanford case, amongst others, which ruled at the time that enslaved black people were ineligible for U.S. citizenship. So for the ones who are questioning whether Kamala was black or they questioning her Jamaican roots, but because they had slavery in the United States or in America, especially in Jamaica, they tried to say that she's ineligible to be considered even a citizen. So, I mean, which is it? Is she black or is she Indian? Because these people see her as black and they're trying to use old slavery verbiage to make sure that she can't vote. And if voting is not important, then why are they trying to suppress people's votes? So in other words, no, the 1857 Dred Scott case does not make Kamala Harris ineligible for president. Move on, dummies. Move on. Let's go. Well, before we go, speaking of packing the Supreme Court refuses to remove Joe Biden's latest student loan debt relief plan. And this is why voting is important, because, as you can see, this is what happens. So for those who are waiting for some student relief to happen, guess who's stopping that? Supreme Court Republicans. Moving on. Diddy seeks dismissal of $30 million sexual assault lawsuit filed by Lil Rod. Good luck, Diddy. Speaking of Lil Diddy, fans have accused Young Miami of lying about being done with Diddy after she's seen wearing his signature shark tooth necklace given to his partner. So the shark tooth necklace that he gives to his multiple partners and baby mamas or girlfriends, she was seen rocking. So, but who's to say? Maybe she just wanted to just rock some jewelry for today, and that's, she wanted to revisit that old thing. But who's to say? We're moving on. It's been revealed by Irv Gotti's team that he suffered a stroke, some months ago. And I'm not trying to make fun, but people are trying to say that, that news of Ashanti being pregnant probably, gave him a stroke. And, he got him all sick and in his feelings. And then in good old 50 Cent fashion, he said this. 50 Cent trolls Irv Gotti after stroke news with what the fuck happened to you? I mean, you talk about 50 stay on demon time when it comes to them, man. And hey, they tried to blackball him, and there's no forgiveness in his heart, man. You talk about petty, but moving on. It's being said that Twitter/X will be taken down in Brazil within 24 hours. I wonder what's the cause of that, you know what I'm saying? But moving on. Ari Links opens up about IRS debt. The strangest things I'm finna do for change. I wonder what the strange things is, maybe she should hook up with our resident Mr. Local Toes and get some popping, We're moving on. McDonald's is reportedly releasing the Chicken Big Mac soon. I'm a fan of Big Macs and I'm willing to give it a try, so I will save up $10,000 just to eventually try it. And I will let y'all know how it goes when I save up that much to take out a loan to get a Big Mac. But moving on. LeBron tells his son he cannot call him dad in the workplace or daddy, you know what I'm saying? He told him like that's only reserved for your mama. Moving on. Speaking of my Lakers, Dwight Howard says Rob Pelinka kind of messed up the dynasty we were starting. We would have had at least 2 championships and an opportunity to fight for a third. With all the stuff that's been coming out, no pun intended, and coming out of his mouth, pause. This is one of the few things I actually agree with him on, you know what I'm saying? One of the few things that, dude, you's a freaky ass nigga, man. You a freaky ass nigga. Moving on. Alato says all male rappers sound the same and the female rappers are the versatile ones. If she's talking about her generation, I may have to agree, but slightly disagree because, granted that the women rappers, they actually don't really sound the same per se, but they talk about the same stuff outside of rap So, you know what I'm saying? So she may have a point, but all these little such and suches and whatever they do kind of sound the same, and they make the same type of music too. So they copy each other's flow. There's no versatility or creativity, in my opinion, too. So I agree with Big Lotto. Jill, a singer, Mooney Long, reveals she split from husband after 10 years of marriage. She says, I don't have time for no nonsense. And I wonder what that nonsense was. You know what I'm saying? She may need to elaborate a little bit more, but, you know, she's dope. So this may bring out some good music out of it. But who's to see? You know, we shall see, I guess. But moving on. There's been a study that's been shown that it says it's estimated that 45% of women ages 25 to 44 will be single in 6 years. I wonder if it's because of the stuff that they expect, you know, but we're going to talk about that on tonight's show, you know. So moving on. Uncle Luke slams Tariq Nasheed, which is Quez's boy, accusing him of dividing the black community. Social media showdown. This is interesting. Stay tuned. We shall talk about it. I wonder how Quez feels. But yeah, moving on. Now, this will be the last one. Marcus Houston, 41, claims he married a 19-year-old because women his age come with too much baggage. I don't know about that one, brother. I don't know. A little weird. But we'll talk about that too. And by all means, for those that want to rebut, have at it. But I'm Third Degree, and let's just get right to it. Anyway, I'm your boy Third Degree, and that's been your Ratchet News. Toes, are you good, man? Are you sitting still? Are you good? All right. So, hey, so for those who are just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like and the share button. You're subscribing. If you want to come on and be a guest on Facebook comments, we do actually have the link where you can tap on. Just know that if you're using your phone, that you have to use your headphones. And also note that your headphones do work as a microphone and they pick up every single thing that you do. Also, like Quez likes to say, this is a production. So this is going out all over the world. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? And we're everywhere. So you could be clipped up. So for the decency of the show, make sure that you're in a nice spot. You're sitting still. There's no background noise going on. You got your Wi-Fi popping. So please, because we don't need the distractions and taken away from what any of the guests are saying, what any of the panel saying. We don't need to. We don't want to look, busted and ghetto and shit. So just please respect the show. Other than that, no chewing, no snorting, smoking, whatever some folks be doing. Taking shit.
Who do you be letting on here?
Yeah, who do y'all let on here? That's the good question. I don't have
let me know when you're still, man. Let me know when you're still.
Just give us a thumbs up when you're good, bro. We'll bring y'all up. When y'all good.
Adoration, are you good?
Put a thumbs up.
All right.
Hello.
Right.
Hey,
thank
girl.
you for respecting the rules. How you doing?
What up?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, my beautiful
Good.
people?
All right. Y'all got anything to say about the Ratchet News before we start digging in?
How did
What's
the
up,
chicken
Angie?
Big Mac hit Ratchet News? That's not Ratchet
I
News.
know.
That's Ratchet News. Who's thinking of a
That is
chicken Big
ratchet
Mac?
news, 'cause why would you mess
McDonald's
up
is
the
trying to
Big Mac?
find a way
Thank
to
you.
pay those $20 an hour per employee.
Hey, thank you, Quiz. Thank you, Quiz.
Us fat people are thinking about that chicken Big Mac. That's
But
who's
that's
thinking
not
about it.
ratchet. That's just
I know.
It
That's
is,
normal
'cause
life.
It's for you niggas. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Ain't nobody asked for no chicken Big Mac but niggas.
I need to feed my triple chin. So I need to
They
Triple
had
Big Mac.
a focus group and
they
all black
did. 'Cause
people,
that's how that
all black
happened.
people there said, you know what to make this better?
That's exactly
The
how
Big
that
Mac
happened.
would be good if you just fried some chicken and put it on.
I
You know what I'm saying?
No, how do we get more black people to come back? Let's put some chicken in between these buns.
God
What's
damn.
up,
It
Chicken Big
better
Mac.
be real chicken.
What's up, sis?
Okay.
It better be real chicken. Or
I don't
y'all-
got nothing to say about your attacking Ratchet News. That you attacked me and Melvin and several other cast members. Right now, I see you on your Joe Budden shit. You know what I mean? We're not
is
gonna
that
pump it up. You know what I'm saying? We're
Is
not
that the
gonna
Joe
pump it up
Budden
too much.
pause, or are we talking about Joe Budden pre or after we found out he's out here sucking dick under a bridge?
What
Pick
is
one.
Joe Budden doing? What?
Oh, Joe Budden came out as bisexual.
No, he did
When?
not.
Really?
Y'all
Look
didn't
it
know?
up.
That's old news. Look it up.
Look at
No,
that.
he was trolling. Let's stop.
I mean,
I ain't
No,
trying to,
Google
Look
it.
it up.
Google it.
I ain't doing
Google
that
it.
anyway.
Look it up.
Wes, you know you like to read
Hey,
receipts.
when
You
he's
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about
There was
pump,
no-
pump it up.
That's my brother though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
Real
saying.
talk.
You know what I'm saying?
I support my brother in his movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like
and-
Joe Budden.
No, I wasn't talking about him. Hell no.
Oh,
That's not what I was saying. Hell to the
Oh.
no. You know what
I
I'm
thought
saying?
you were
Like
talking
the
about
share button.
pump it up.
Mm-mm. Ain't gonna be no pumping over
He
here.
was
You
trolling.
know what I'm
I know what you
saying?
guys are talking about. He was trying to make a statement. I know what y'all.
Mhm.
Man, y'all take shit and run
Nah.
with that.
No,
shit,
well, we're
man.
not really
That-
about to argue with you with this because we had a whole argument about Diddy and look what came out. So I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
it where I saw it.
Mhm.
I wish you would. I wish you would.
Let's keep it moving. Mm-mm.
Keep
All
it
right.
moving, please.
Well, I will Google this shit.
Hey, look, you done turned his camera off. That boy really, man, come on, sir.
Because he sure enough was protecting his Diddy.
Man,
Negro,
my
please. Negro, please.
Okay.
Diddy,
We're
his
gonna
Bobby
clip it up.
Browns. It's certain
Yep,
things
we
you
gonna clip
can't
it all
say in
up.
third.
Look it up.
What does
Look it
that
up.
mean?
Triggered.
What does
Huh?
your caption mean? Can't get over.
I ain't gay, but $20 is $20.
What is
That means $20 is $20 no matter who it come from. It's $20.
Right, adoration. What you got? You got a dub on it? You know what I'm saying? You got a dub on the adoration? You know what I'm
Yeah. A mouth to mouth. A mouth to
What's wrong
mouth.
with you?
saying? He said, "Come out, come out."
No.
What's wrong with you? Man?
I said a mouth is a mouth. A mouth
Oh
is a
well,
mouth.
hell, that's even worse. You know?
That's what that's what that statement means.
A mouth's a mouth. That's it.
Pause.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, Quiz, you know what to do.
Hey man, what is your word of the day? Third, and please.
Hey, a
don't
third
include me
word,
in it.
'cause I heard a good one today, is compartmentalize. It means dividing the sections or categories. Another breakdown is to compartmentalize is the form of psychological defense mechanism in which thoughts and feelings that seem to conflict are separated or isolated from each other in the mind. Those post-traumatic stress disorder may use compartmentalization to separate positive and negative self aspects. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting, especially with Tish being being into psychology that she is, and especially breaking down a lot of stuff we're getting ready to talk about, because we're getting ready to talk about a lot of what Cam Newton has had to say about having a fear of marriage, but still wanting more kids. And essentially Dr. Bryant pretty much breaking down and showing them telling them you're creating broken families. So we're definitely going to get our thoughts, views, and opinions on that, and break down the whole dynamic of families and broken families, and why is there a healthy fear of marriage and divorce?
There should be.
Absolutely. Peace, did you approve that message? You know what I mean? Because this one's on you. Was that a good breakdown for Third's word of the day?
I would say so.
Okay, 'cause you got the degree, so we got to defer.
I would have jumped in if it wasn't right. You know me.
Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because 77%ers tend to stray away sometimes.
Oh my
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I mean, compartmentalize their blackness.
Speak on it.
God, be out here doing
He
all the
just
work,
used the
and we
word
just
in a
come here and
sentence.
bash.
Speak on it.
Right?
Thank you, Adoration.
Oh, gosh.
Thank
Gotta
you,
love it. You know what I'm saying? Where we go from here?
bastards.
He's wrong.
All right, y'all.
Gosh.
So
Hey.
let's go ahead and just dip right on into it. So here goes the clip of Cam Newton.
And this is my situation, and I think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children,
How many?
8.
By how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
of
just
this
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy.
Oh, she right.
Wow.
She right.
Did we need to talk about this?
Okay, we summed it all the way up.
Pretty much summed that up. You know what I'm saying? Anybody disagree? You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, okay, to
Let
play
me be
advocate a little bit.
facetious. Fuck what she talk about. Now I'm just playing. Just playing. I'm sorry.
So to play advocate a bit, I mean, so why do you think that there is a fear of marriage? Do you think that he's just using that as an excuse, or do you think there's some legitimacy behind it?
There should be a fear of marriage because it's a great deal. It's one of the most important decisions you could ever make because you're creating children. That's forever. Once you create them, no matter what happens to you or them, you created life, period. And then your partner, if you pick a shitty partner, even if you don't marry them or if you're engaged to them, they could either help you become successful or tear you down. And so these are important. It's the most important decision is to get married, because starting a family, starting a life, starting a partnership, I don't know any other important decision that you can make as a team with somebody else. It's just like starting a business. But it could be the implications are worse because with a business, you could file for bankruptcy. When you have kids, there's childhood trauma involved. There's other people involved.
Dissolve that.
Yeah, you can't just nope. No matter what you do, you created ask Elon Musk. He's dealing with that right now. No matter he created those kids, and now he's trying to say he doesn't care about their kids, but the kids still fucked up, and Elon's fucked up too. So devastation all the way around. But
yeah,
it's an important decision.
You'll never have an X account, sir. Just so you know.
Fuck Elon.
Yeah, I don't even. The moment I found out Elon was running, I was done.
You'll never send another tweet a day in your life.
Good.
Charles asks, does he have mommy issues?
I can't stand that.
I don't think he has mommy issues. I think he has bad examples of relationships, like most black men in America. You know what I mean? If we're being honest. And then the examples that we see brought before us is, the couples that we do see, they be good for a moment, and then when that relationship fails, that high value man or that you, to be honest, you don't even necessarily have to be a high value. So I'm not even finna open that can of worms because I don't want that in the chat. But as a man and individual, when that relationship is over, 9 times out of 10, the men have to fight a whole lot harder than the woman, right? Whether that's to get equal rights, to see their kids, to get a respectable, fair, judgment in regard to what the child needs in terms of payments and things of that nature. And Lord forbid you have a lot of money and she walk away with half of something that she didn't earn. I'm just saying these are the examples that we see as men, right? We see a lot of relationships, they be good, and then we see divorces and we see men crying and just an Olympic athlete just this week just killed himself because he was going through a custody battle with the mother of his children. You know what I mean? This man been to the Olympics at 25, and that's not something that you should have to put on the plate. Yes, there's situations where there are bad relationships. I understand those, but a lot of these relationships are not bad relationships. A lot of these relationships are bitter and ego driven, and I want to be in charge, so I'm gonna punish you for us having children, and then you getting to leave, or I decide to walk away, so I make all the rules. So that's why there's a healthy fear of it, because from the man's perspective, we don't usually win anything if it goes bad. We always lose. That's
Mhm.
All right, lady.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would say that, in my opinion, from what I've seen and I've heard, I think a lot of people have strayed so far from what things are supposed to be. And when I say supposed to be, I don't mean everybody has to be the same. But I think that there are some key things that she hit on that I think we're missing. We talked about it, and it gets out of hand. It starts with sex should be within marriage, but then everybody wants to have sex outside of marriage. So fine. But then it's like, well, then I can have a long-term girlfriend that's basically a wife. So then it's like, okay, well, fine. Well, then I can have kids as well. Then it's like, okay, fine. But where do we draw the line? Now he feels very, very, very comfortable having multiple families outside of marriage. He's not even, and it's not even like, well, I'm not getting married because I don't believe in marriage, and I'm not getting married because of the paperwork. He's not even considering these women, in his life. These are like baby mamas. Like, he's very clear about that. Like, this is not like, I love this woman, I'm with her, but I just don't, believe in marriage or any of that stuff. We've gotten to the point, and this is men and women as well. I know women as well, who are just like, well, I'm with this guy, but he's not a guy I would marry, and I got kids by him. And there's men who are like, well, I'm with this girl, and I got kids, but she's not somebody I would marry. I feel like we've gotten so far away from what we could call like healthy, that we're starting to see at least he takes care of his children as healthy, because there's so many of our people, not just our people though, I lived around the world, so many people who don't take care of their children. Mm-hmm. So when you find a man who at least takes care of his children, he literally is walking up there like, yeah, I'm doing good. Like, I'm at least taking care of I missed the 8 kids part when I first saw it. I'm shocked. At least he's taking care of it. And I've seen this all around the world where we're praising even people like Nick Cannon. At least he sees his kids. And it's just like, is that what we're settling
Hold your horses
for?
with that. I got some clips on Nick Cannon too.
I'm sorry.
So Tish and Jess, go ahead.
I think a lot of people might be, or him, I don't know about him in general, but people might fear marriage because of, like we said, we don't get examples of people being married 50 and 60 years anymore. When things go wrong or go away that somebody decided that that's not what I'm going to deal with, no one is sitting down and discussing this and going through counseling or whatever the case may be to get over that hump with their husband or their wife. It's strictly like, now I'm going to divorce you because you're not doing what I think you should be doing. It's no longer death do us part. It's like, where's the paper? Let me sign. And like I said, we're not getting examples of long-term relationships. There's no more Cosby shows out there outside of what Cosby so-called did or whatever. But think about it. We don't have sitcoms like that of people showing how it is to be married with all the children living in the home. We don't have that any longer. The parents go over to the other parent house, visit the kid, drop them off, argue, and then bounce. That's what we're seeing through social media and stuff too. People are breaking up and getting divorced. Like even like what's the judge named Mathis? Him and his wife are getting divorced, and I never would have saw that coming, that she filed for divorce, because from on the outside it looks like it's picture perfect, but we don't see any of those things anymore. So there's no clear examples, and it's sad, that these relationships are strictly going to I'll divorce you instead of trying to fix things. I think you should, for me, once I finally get married, or if I get married, like I always said, it's death do us part. So if we can't discuss it, like it's a gang, we're going to fight this out. So if we can't discuss it outside of maybe you putting your hands on me and some type of physical abuse, we're going to sit and we're going to try our hardest to work it out. And if it comes to a conclusion that we're not making compromises or we're not seeing eye to eye, then that might be a discussion that needs to be had. But I'm not going to just strictly jump for that without any type of action in between that. And that's what we're not seeing now. People jump straight to divorce.
Word. Jess?
Yeah, I agree with Quez and Tish. I feel like this dude's a player. To be honest. But outside of that, I agree with Tish. I feel like a lot of people don't have the skills for conflict resolution. And they just run. They run, and that doesn't help anybody, whether you're planning to get married or not. That doesn't help your children to see and to grow and develop, to see you guys working it out. Because no matter what in life, whether you have a job, anything in life, you're gonna have issues with people. You know what I mean? And you have to learn how to have those skills. So I feel like from my dating experience, a lot of men will say, oh, it's just easier to just, like, his thought process. It's just easier to have just a chick because they don't know how to solve problems with a female.
So would it be fair to say that
this is not all men?
Well, no, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't going there. I was going to say, would it be fair to say that from death do us part turned into inconvenience do us part? That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
It's a lot of until I'm inconvenienced.
Yeah.
And then I get to walk away.
I think with the advent of the internet, the world's a lot smaller now. And so you can link up all the way around with millions and billions of people. So you can find your match millions and billions of times. And so it's that much easier to connect with somebody, and a lot of people, as Tish said, they don't want to do the work. They want instant gratification. They don't want to do the work. That's why we have a problem in so many different aspects of life is people don't want to take a look inward. Everybody wants to talk about everybody outward, but nobody wants that to seek self-improvement. Nobody you know what? I am a piece of shit. I need to improve. You know what? I am a player. I need to stop doing that. You know what? Nobody wants to do that. They just want to, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am. If you don't, somebody else will. And they just drag that bag of hot mess around. And there's so many people that are like, you know what? I'm lonely. I'll take that bag of hot mess. And then it just keeps snowballing. And so that's the problem there. No, people don't want to.
Good point, man.
People don't want to be held accountable. And for I think me and my wife, we went to marriage counseling. We did all that preemptive. We didn't have no problems, but I was like, you know what? Before you get sick of me, I want to fix all the issues so that it doesn't come up to that point 10 years from now that you know what? You snore and I fucking can't stand you. And I'm like, God damn, I wish you would have said something 10 years ago. And so we preemptively said, you know what? We're gonna take the step, and it was great. It was it was like, yeah, I thought, I was hoping the therapist would be like, yeah, that motherfucker's right. You are wrong with everything. But no, I was wrong on some shit.
Mhm.
And
He said
therapy
so.
is,
Hey, so
I was
and
shout out
therapy
to
is
Cheryl.
good because
So
you don't
Cheryl
have to
says
go
Cheryl
ahead.
says marriage is hard, so we have no relationship goals from our elders as an example. They went through it and stayed together point blank and period. So
but
I mean, I guess we can agree to some extent, like yeah, some of the toxicity, because I mean we've seen some toxic relationships too,
Mhm.
as opposed to not seeing like a real healthy example of it. So
Right.
but I think that's a cop out at some level.
I agree.
When
I agree.
you're 30 years old, you know what's right and what's
That
fucking
part.
wrong.
I
So
agree.
it's, oh, I didn't get a good example. Shut the fuck up. You are a
I,
grown up. You have
but
Right.
grown
again,
kids now.
but if
So
you
don't be saying, "Oh, my
so
daddy did this." But
I agree at some point when you become older, then yeah, that you can't use that. But again, like even as children, if you're taught something, you have to be taught to learn your ABCs. You have to
but
be taught certain language. You have to be taught certain behavior. So
but
if
we're
this is your hold up,
oh,
if
go
this is
ahead.
your example of what you're seeing, and you're seeing like you seeing your mom or your dad, I can't stand you, black mother sucker, da 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 da. And they're thinking they're and equating this to be love, so then they repeat some of the same behaviors when they get into their own relationships. So then take somebody from the outside like a Dr. Bryant or a therapist to sit up here and say, no, this is wrong, maybe try it this way, and blah blah blah. So again, I mean,
If
there's some validity to, yes, we
Cam,
watch and
Cam
see and
Newton
we
is
become what we are examples of.
Cam Newton's 35 years old. He's a
Mm-hmm.
multi-millionaire. If he can't find out that there's something wrong with him, then he has a bigger issue than if he's going to get married or not.
Well, let me ask this: how does he get that example? Because he is time out. He is the quintessential man that social media is telling us that these women want. Right? He can pay all the bills. He can do everything that these women want from a man, and he gets to justify his debauchery by saying, well, shit, I'm Cam Newton. I have millions of dollars, and
Yeah.
you're going to accept me as I am, or you can keep it moving.
Yeah.
So you have to tie that in there as well,
But
because like we down here, like let's be honest, we can't pull off the same organization that Cam Newton is doing with 8 kids and 3 baby mamas.
no.
And
But
I seen them dancing on Instagram the other day, you know what I'm saying, with one of his baby mamas. They was having a great time. But that's because she gets a $250,000 check, you know what I'm saying, a
but
year to take care of them children by that man. So there's no recourse for him to have
Quinn,
to
Quinn,
justify, like, you don't care, that's just money to him. He
he
already has
he
that money.
he wasn't always Cam Newton the superstar. When
He
he
has
was
been though.
when he was broke, Cam Newton at Auburn, because he was a college kid, he knew chicks were going to be at his level. He knew he was going to get the money, but he didn't have it. So to pretend
Man,
like, and that's the oldest stereotype, the football player with the head cheerleader. Come on, we all know it. It's not so. And when we pretend like, oh, we didn't have examples, what about the people that weren't millionaires in their family and they become the first millionaires in their family? Nobody else in their family was a millionaire, but they knew what they want. They knew what they're, or even less than that. Nobody in my family had a high school diploma, and I went out and got my high school diploma. I'm not speaking for me. Everybody has their degree, but I'm just saying for those families that they're the first to get their high school degree, we're gonna be like, they didn't have no example. How did they figure that out? Because we all know what's right and wrong and what you should do, and then we make excuses for why we don't work harder, why we don't want to do something, and it's all basically excuse.
no,
Why we don't.
I'm not saying he was right or
No,
wrong.
I
I'm
know, I know.
saying
I'm just talking to the crowd.
For the
you know what I
sake
mean.
for the
I
sake of the
gotta ask
convo,
the question because
right?
somebody may be out there
They're
thinking
thinking
that,
that.
and
Mhm.
and,
Yeah,
and like
that's what I'm
Sherelle
saying to
says,
the
you know
crowd.
what I mean.
I know how you feel.
I have
D, are
to
you
I have
good?
to give some animus to the women that participate as well, because how do you get to 8 kids with 3 women? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people.
The first one I can understand. Baby mama number 2 and number 3, you guys should have been paying attention to the signs. Like there's a pattern here. You know what I mean? So if you're accepting this, you're also enabling this man's negative behavior. And I love Cam Newton. He's a wonderful man. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, like Dr. Bryant said, he probably takes damn good care of his children. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to take that away from him, but his views on relationships is skewed and fucked up. And the crazy part is he comes from a 2-parent household.
What is he going to show his
you
parents?
can't really say you didn't get a good example. He has a 2-parent household. His father was in his life and a positive figure. And then how do we go from that to now Cam Newton is out here impregnating all these women? And I pray to God that I get some more kids. And I'm more scared of marriage.
It's one word.
We're in a household with a marriage, whether it was healthy or not. The parents were still together.
One word: narcissism.
Yes,
very much. So.
I think that's better befitting than player. He's just
when you think you're Nick Cannon and you're like, well, I pay them and I give them money. It's not about money. You cannot possibly be in each one of those households. Well, and then what are you showing those kids?
So
they're going to grow up.
So we keep bringing up Nick Cannon. So let's show Nick Cannon.
I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked. And at times, have I been manipulative and prey on certain things? Yes, because I'm a man.
Right.
And
but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket
all
men.
And I will take advantage.
Do not prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans prey and manipulate. But in a man in a relationship,
not in a praying way.
If I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm going to do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick, again, law of attraction. We attract who we are despite of who we think we are. You used the word, you said women who are equally yoked to you.
Yeah.
Equally yoked comes in many different facets.
100%. Balance, if anything.
They have been equally yoked to your low functioning dysfunction that you have learnned to survive in.
Because I use my tools to because first of all, let's you're acting as if I'm entering every scenario with the full me and we all every time someone meets someone, you're meeting their representative. I know how to turn on the perfect man.
Depending
and
on
so
the
therefore
person,
I may have manipulated a situation and therefore so it's to no discredit to anyone else, but I've come into every situation. I can be God-fearing, celibate, the one that you want. I can tell you everything that you want in a man and show you that. I can open the doors, lay down the cloak, send the jet, do it all to be like, oh my goodness, I've never. And then Toxic Nick shows up, and you're like, this motherfucker got me.
No, but
he done gave me the draws, and I ain't heard from him in 3 weeks.
What you said is perfect. No, what you said is perfect because you named all of the low-functioning, superficial things that a low-functioning woman would fall into.
Church,
women,
that ain't low-functioning.
Baby, any woman,
we going to see the Lord together.
Any woman or man,
or the mosque, wherever you want to go. I know them both.
Any person who's done the work, who gained a sense of self, who's worked on their pain pockets, who's worked on their trauma,
are still going to be vulnerable.
They're going to be vulnerable.
They're still going to yearn. And late at night when you're sleeping alone, you go, I wish I had a strong man to rub my back.
They're going to be imperfect, but that person would want a strong, healthy, functioning man, not a low-functioning man.
Sometimes a nigga with some good hands.
Not a low-functioning man, no. That's what I'm saying is the difference. But
every woman, you can't, Doc, you can't sit here and say that.
But you're speaking from your experience, which makes it better.
I'm saying.
Because your experience of these women is that they fall short for a jet and a good meal and a good man who says he goes to church.
And some strong hands.
And let me go further, and probably a big penis. But okay,
you said it, not me.
Let me go. But again, a high functioning, I'm not even talking about value, a high functioning woman who's done the work.
I'm trying to hear what this high functioning woman is.
But a high functioning woman, you cannot send a jet and be toxic, and she will go on the
She don't know I'm toxic yet.
A high-functioning woman wouldn't even attract you, baby.
Narcissist.
Narcissist.
Egomaniac.
And they wonder why Mariah Carey gave him the boot.
Egomaniac.
I thought she gave him the boot because he's corny. Like, he's kind of corny at times.
Not because he's corny. She was married to him.
She corny too. He was corny before he married him, so she knew he was corny.
She found
he's been corny his entire life.
Most likely running around and doing all kinds
Nickelodeon.
of stuff. Yep. Because there's nothing wrong with a corny guy, but a corny narcissist guy gotta go. You could be corny. You can be all kinds of stuff, but she
turned him into that. I feel he knew she was.
You said what?
I feel like he wasn't always narcissist. When he was with her, he was like her puppet. Like she had him dressing in bunny suits and all this other mess. You know what I'm saying?
He
when
would
he
do
got
that
done
before
with,
her, though.
when he got done with her,
Nick Cannon.
That's him. Then that's when he started thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have all these kids, and I'm just this player. I could be any kind of man to pull any kind of woman. I can play this role, that role. He's just started getting cocky because he has lupus, and I think he's trying to get a bunch of kids just for his legacy. I really feel like that's what it is because before he wasn't diagnosed with lupus. I think that's his issue of his ignorance. But with Cam Newton, that fool just ignorant too, just dumb.
But that's even worse. If you have lupus and you possibly could die early, and you're gonna have all these kids and leave them without a father
True.
and not even know a father, come on, you a selfish motherfucker.
That's on demon time.
It can be true, but sometimes some people think like that, like they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want it. It's just like with a gay couple, you know, two men, and they have a child. You know what I'm saying? That child ain't gonna never have no mother. So it's what difference is it? You know what I'm saying? Well, some of them think like that. That's just what they want to do.
I don't think that's the same.
Long as they're leaving them money, what do they care?
I don't think
they grow up because they're taught that way.
Honestly, for me, I don't think you need a mother or a father. If as long as your household is full of love, that's what matters. If there's two women together,
I strongly fucking disagree with that.
Why? So you would rather a single, you would rather a mother and a father, but the
Melvin,
kid, what?
Melvin, I want to slow you down, Pimp.
Go ahead.
I want to slow you down because once again, you come from a two-parent household, right?
Yep.
So to say that to someone who came from a one-parent household that was full of love, you know what I mean? It fucking matters. It really fucking matters that you have your father in your life during that process. It's not just about having love in the house. My mom was full of love, but there were certain things that she could never fucking give me.
Yeah,
and I struggle with those. I struggle with those today. So you got to be careful when you say stuff like
that's understandable.
It's not necessary. It's very fucking necessary.
What I was referring to is if you have two women or two men, it doesn't matter if there's a mother or a father there.
It still matters.
If you have two people there,
it still matters, Melvin.
I don't think.
I grew up in a house full of women. My mom got sisters galore.
If you knew nothing,
love everywhere.
If you knew nothing, but those were your parents, how do you miss? I'm not understanding that.
Because there are certain things that you need from each biological parent. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody on the other side who does what they do. I appreciate y'all. Y'all may be saving some children who may not have gotten any love. So I appreciate y'all for that.
Right.
But to say that it's the same as having a mother and a father is absolutely false. And we can't conflate those two issues because each parent brings two different dynamics that child needs to be fully functioning in life.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. My mama couldn't teach me how to pee, so I can't imagine another woman teaching me how to stand up and pee.
But there are women that do teach their male children how to pee, so we can't say
that. No. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Then when
it was
have
so
those
hard
debates,
to potty train my two
never
boys.
said it was easy. Okay. I just said it was possible.
Okay.
And to think that just because people have two parent households doesn't mean that your child won't come up messed up. All these things can happen in every single household, regardless if it's a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. It doesn't matter. It's how you bring up your children. So these things are possible. You can't possibly teach your son how to use the restroom if you're a woman. There's plenty of single women out there who have taught their sons how to properly use the restroom and things like that. I'm not negating that a man is important in the household. Both parents are definitely important. But to sit here and think that every household who does not have both parents are living trashy lives or have something wrong with them, we can't say that for every household.
Can you do me a favor with all the studying that you do, with your education, with your degrees and everything? Can you tell me what it's like to function as a man?
I'm not a man, but I'm not saying
that's
that.
my point.
No, but I'm saying is people's households are different, and how they bring up people are different. And guess what? Every man cannot teach a man how to be a man.
Yeah, because again, they didn't have a good example themselves.
So
that's exactly the whole point.
It needs to be a man who understands and can teach that boy right from wrong, and not just be like, I'm the man in the house, so I know what you're supposed to do. And when it's 100%
because of toxic
wrong,
behavior,
he doesn't know what a man is supposed to be like. If he is not a man,
toxic behavior is taught.
Yeah, so if he's not a man
because again,
himself,
if you don't, if a boy is in that 2-parent household, and again, you do have to look at the logistics, and I can't say for every household, but you do got to look at how they're being raised. So what is this man, if he's teaching his son anything at all? You know, because
I just wanted to say that, because it's kind of coming off that every household should have this, but there are households with single women and single men.
I mean, we're trying to play politically correct. We're trying to play politically correct and say people's feelings. I'll let you get off.
I wasn't trying to do none of that shit.
I'm not saying you.
I was trying to speak from my vantage point.
Right.
And I see that. I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Right.
On this end, I can see it. But if I was sitting out and didn't know y'all the way I know y'all, it can come off looking a certain type of way. So that's why I said what I said. Because there's going to be grown people out here who grew up with no father in the house who are 100% fine. No problems. And vice versa. And,
sometimes
they
it's better
can take
that
it personally.
So
that's why I said what I said. I'm not attacking anyone on here. I'm just saying it is possible to raise perfectly great children with one parent, whether it's a man or a woman.
And I would say this, I feel like we all can probably agree that the pinnacle of a situation is how God set it up. A healthy woman and a healthy man raising their kids. That is the pinnacle of a situation. But everybody doesn't have two healthy parents. Okay? So sometimes it is better to just have your healthy dad and not your unhealthy mom, or have your healthy mom and not your unhealthy dad, or have whatever that might have to look like, because we don't all have two healthy parents, and that's the truth. So the pinnacle of a situation, we can probably all agree, is your biological mother
ugly as shit,
your biological
and I really don't give a fuck.
Healthy.
You know, so the thing about it is, and I'm trying to say this to be like as sensitive as possible. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes, as Quez likes to say, we as people move the goalposts in order to kind of like save people's feelings or whatever like that. And again, there's nothing wrong with having your viewpoint, and there's nothing wrong with knowing what is right and knowing what's wrong. There are people who live kind of like outside of what we know is norm. And, you know, and I'm not necessarily saying that that's wrong, but to sit up there and try to implement these new norms as or their way of thinking or whatever it is outside of the box as the new norms, I think it's been the problem. And I think this is what has been causing confusion as far as even with identity.
But what do you mean new norms?
New norms, like, for example, and I don't mean to put you on blast, Adoration. You know, we put up a thing about God, and Adoration said, well, who said that God is a male? And I'm like, well, I mean, it really clearly says that in the Bible, like to our Heavenly Father. And Jesus said, to get to me, to get to my Father, you have to go through me. So why do we keep trying to wipe over the fact that, or change the new definitions or whatever it is, to sit up there and to placate to people and however it is that they need to feel so they can feel secure about themselves? If this is what it's saying right here, why are we trying to move the goalposts and like, oh, well, God wasn't really a male, he was a woman, or God was a tree and God was a bird, just because someone comes up with something just out of the box? To me, my ignorance, so forgive my ignorance, I just don't get it, nor will I ever agree with it.
Right. I can speak to that though, because I think that, and this is just my own point of view on the Bible from my own reading. I think that in my opinion, as humans, we put God into our categories. We put God into our male, female. Now God is obviously we present to him as he. But the thing is, when we talk about a species, which is us as human beings, we're made in the image of God. So this idea that we have of woman is the other side of man. So when my point of the matter, and I didn't get a chance to explain it, but my point of the matter is male and female, man and woman are one thing. So what I'm saying is we have this thing like, oh, the Bible is sexist because it's saying male, male, but why is it not saying female, female, female? Because male and female are one thing. God is not man or woman. We read about God having all the qualities of a male, and then being the breasty one, and then being this, because God encapsulates all of what we are. Male and female are just one thing split into two different things. Just like we have tigers, then we have the tigeress version and the tiger version. I don't see that's my point of view though. You understand? I don't know if you guys understand, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that the Bible is sexist, or it does, like you said, the post that you posted said basically, how can this be God if, you know what I mean, it basically is sexist. And it's like, well, if we really read the word for what it says, the Bible talks about it in Hebrews again too, where it's like, no, you guys are all the same, not man and then woman and then this. It's not like that. And so I feel like we go with that narrative because it works for this generation. You know, the Bible is sexist, but if we really read it, God's not male or female.
So you're talking about as far as equality?
Yeah, we bring it into this equality conversation, but the Bible is not. The issues that we're having on earth with sexism, the Bible's not that. I'm just being honest, and that's just what I've read. So from what I've read, I don't see, and that's what I'm saying. So when I say God is not male, I mean that the way we break female and male up, that's why the Bible says mankind all the time. And it's talking about men and women. It's not talking about just men. It's saying mankind, men, the son of men. It's not talking about, we're not taking out woman from that. So it says, oh yeah, the son of man fell. It's not saying that just men fell and women are just sitting there on the side. It's talking about all of us. So I feel like we take that conversation, we break it in half, and then we question God, like, God, why are you sexist? And he's like, okay.
What are you talking about?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Makes sense.
I can see your point.
Yeah.
Kind of.
See your point.
It's a little foggy still for me. I'm the slow one. So
I can see it a little bit. Not, I mean, she did a good job of elaborating on her statement. I could see it. I might not agree with it, but I could see it.
Right. Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it was a conversation that ever needed to be had. The word is the word, right?
Right.
But that's my point.
Societal issues to the Bible. The question
that's my point. This is the society that we're moving into now. So now, where it's like, again, no offense to people out there, but we're having a healthy, honest conversation about this. So now it's damn near illegal to call yourself a male. You have to use a pronoun or whatever it is, or you can't sit up there and say that somebody is this or that, whatever, no more. Because again, we had to sit up there and we had to essentially fold into other people's belief system. You know what I'm saying? And if you go against it, then you're wrong. Whether it's even on the side of what you believe is right to these people, you know what I'm saying? Because people use or they justify their own ignorance and self-hate to persecute another group of people because they choose to live different. But then these people that choose to live different are trying to tell us, you know, like, no, 2 + 2 = 12, when we know for a motherfucking fact that it equals 4. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the society that we're living into today. And again, like, so if we take the male out of the house, you know what I'm saying, or we take the woman out of the house, I know for a fact I couldn't live with just my father or even my stepfather. You know, I need my mom. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, with my mom being who she was, she cannot teach me certain things and how to be a man. And I'm just, and me speaking from my own personal experience. So I'm not saying that it can't be done as far as a woman raising a boy into manhood, of course, because it's inevitable. They're going to grow up to eventually become a man. But what character traits, what personalities, what things are they going to pick up along the way? And that's the problem. And especially to your argument, if they have a bad example of a father. You know, so I get both sides of the coin to a certain extent.
I get it, but I think it, again, because throughout history, when women were raising, think about World War II, the millions of men died. Women raised children left and right. And those they raised men.
Again, raised. It's inevitable. So again, if you take an egg, right, Melvin, and the egg hatches, and then a baby bird comes out, and you're gonna hold it, you're gonna feed it, you're gonna nourish it, all this other stuff. Yes, you're raising this bird into this baby bird into a bird adulthood, but you still don't know the ins and outs and the functions and how to operate as a motherfucking bird.
But when you think about it, most parents don't know the ins and outs.
Look at God. You know what I'm saying?
Evil question.
I got lost on the bird.
again, D. So I'll
Good.
slow it back. I will rewind this shit. I will rewind this shit. So for those, so pay attention.
I'm sorry.
If Melvin took a bird, a egg, and cultivated it into like an incubator, whatever, and watched it hatch from a baby bird, and he fed it and took care of it every single day into a bird adulthood, he raised this bird from a baby into bird adulthood. But he still himself does not know the ins and outs and functionalities of how to be a fucking bird. He is not sitting up there taking the worm or taking the food from his beak and putting it into the baby beak. He's doing shit that's going to abnormal for what that bird would do in its natural habitat. What the fuck I'm talking about?
Just think about the Disney movie, The Jungle Book. He was raised by.
Thank you. I'm tired as fuck.
We're not getting Melvin that.
People do raise pigeons.
No, but like I said, I think we can all agree that your biological mother and your biological father are raising the kid, as long as they're good and healthy, then yeah, that's great.
It's the most ideal situation, right?
Right.
Exactly. I had different experience. I had both of my parents in the household. Both of my parents didn't have their biological parents in the household. And my dad said one thing, because his dad was another level of different. And he said, because my mom has never met her dad. And my dad said that I met my dad. Sometimes it's better not to. And so everybody got a different situation. And I'm just saying that. He met his dad.
That could be true too.
And his dad was more trauma. I mean, I met his dad, and his dad was more trauma to me as a little baby than it was not worth meeting. So I'm just saying that I think I'm not sure what Mel was talking about. But what I'm saying is that the best situation is a healthy mom and a healthy dad raising their child. And then from there, everybody do your best to do whatever you got to do for your children, no matter where you are in life. So Cam Newton had both parents in the household, but he is not doing what a good man should be looking out for his generation, for his legacy. He's not doing that because his kids are going to have stepfathers. Hopefully at this point, they have stepfathers, somebody in the house to actually be there for them, like we talked about. And that's going to be their situation. And so.
Well, let me say something on that note, because it's very important. Like Tisha said, there's people, we all know each other, but there's people that be in the audience or people that's watching us. I don't want that to come across to young mothers that feel like they have to have a stepfather to help raise their child.
That's true.
Because then they're rushing to pick anybody they want. You don't have to have a man to help you do that. Now, it might be a better thing to have it, but it's not a rush. You focus on your child and on you of what you need to do. You use your uncles, you use your cousins that are males, you use them. But don't rush to just pick any man in your household.
Yes,
that's I agree, because I have worked with girls who it's almost like it was kind of pushed on them that their father was no longer in the house, and as soon as somebody gives them the attention, gives their child the attention they think that they want, they rush into situations and then end up having another child, and then this man leaves because now he's no longer showing his representative, like Nick Cannon said. Now he's showing you his true self, and he leaves, and then guess what? Somebody else comes. Here's your trauma story, changes his life to fit that I'm going to be the Captain Saver. Then guess what? You sleep with that person, another kid comes. That's what I'm saying. And there's more trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma.
And then that's more traumatizing for the kids than anything.
But why are you having so many damn kids? There's birth control.
But it happens because some women equate that as love and affection. That when they give themselves up that way, they equate that to where if he wants me sexually, he must want me, like he must love me. He must like this. And some women do it.
I can see your point, Tish. I definitely see your point. I believe that to be true. But I definitely also hear what he.
That's a dysfunction. If you,
I know, I never said it was right.
No, no,
I never said it was right. I'm saying it happens.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying in that situation, it is a dysfunction. If you, if you are, it doesn't make sense, and especially like for Cam Newton, the women in his life, they're just basically a lot of them are just chasing after the low functioning. They put it kindly. They're the same as all the basketball players that get. They simply get girls to get pregnant, and then they pay them pay him money, baby mama, and then they break up and find another one. And it's the same process over and over and over. These girls, a lot of them know what they're doing. And I think if you're not ready to, I think having a kid is the most serious thing you can do. And it's on the females.
Absolutely.
It's on females they have all the power in the world. They decide if they want to have an abortion. They decide if they take their birth control on time. They decide what kind of birth control they want to take. They decide there's the endless amount of contraception, condoms, the list goes on. So females bear the brunt of the responsibility for that, because they're also the ones that have that virus in their body growing, and they have to take care of it, and they're hosting it. So
you just
it's
called
important.
a baby a virus?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it treats your body. It does.
I mean,
my body is not the same.
Hey, what's up, April Washington? But at the same time, to play advocate, to jump in, but speaking as a man too, when does the man hold some responsibility as well?
What I'm saying.
And at the end of the day,
Ooh, look at the amens from that. I didn't see no amens. No. So you know I'm gonna go in.
Well,
I know, but hold up. At the same time too, like at the same time, just playing off of that. I mean, there does come a responsibility, a sense of responsibility. I think we up here, saying we as men, we know, hey, if this woman right here, I don't feel like this is something that I want to deal with as a long term, and this is coming from a responsible household that's being taught this, then you're knowing that, hey, I better strap up, I better pull out, I better do something. Hey, let me buy you the plan B, whatever. But at the same time, we know better than to go in raw, because we know that there's a possibility that there may come a responsibility out of this moment of pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know what I think? I think this. We all know that the sexual act can possibly cause pregnancy, right? We all know that. Mm-hmm. We know that condoms are not 100%. We all know that. Mm-hmm. We know birth control is not 100%. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Plan B is not 100%. We all that. So until you are able to look at that person
that part, Melvin,
and you be like, I can take dealing with this woman or this man, if we have a child for the rest of our lives, we should just cut out sex. Sex has a huge weight. Like, it's so important. It's so important to where people. You don't even, that's outside the kids. You risk your body every single time. None of these things are 100% that will take care of everything, that keep you from catching AIDS, other STDs. It's not 100%. So when you look at it like, I can possibly have a child with this woman I done picked up at the club and I don't even remember her first name, you should be, if you thought about this stuff before you decided to do it,
moments of passion,
people would change their mind and be like,
right. No, you're right. But I'm gonna play advocate to that, and I'm gonna let Quez, because I know Quez has been holding on. It's moments of passion. We all are guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? We know how to be responsible. We know the essential right thing to do. But hey, sometimes you get caught up in the moment.
Is it a thing of passion, or is it a thing of low functioning? Like, your mind can't regulate at that moment.
Hey, the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak.
You gotta be watching out there.
Because you control all that. Yeah, the flesh is weak, but you control all that. Like, men can, women could too. So at some point,
definitely a lack of discipline.
That part, I'm guilty.
Yeah, it's a lack of discipline, and everybody struggles with it. But my problem with the conversation is, I don't think the animus falls on either party one way or another. You guys are equally responsible.
Agreed.
Right? In terms of what you allow into you and what you decide to put in someone else. Like, you are equally responsible. But what the narrative has turned into is that niggas ain't shit, and there's these single mamas out here because niggas ain't shit. That we never push back on the fact that, ma'am, you allowed him to have sex with you raw. You allowed him to be in your home in a safe, comfortable space where you guys laid in the same bed and did whatever act it is that you did. and then you decided to keep that child. Now, I'm not for abortion. I'm just be honest with you, but some of you are. So you had a decision to make at that juncture too. So there's a lot of decision-making points where both parties can be responsible, but we can't keep continuing to push the narrative that all these single mothers is out here because niggas ain't shit. We can't. I'm not finna keep going for that. And every time we have a healthy discussion about it, it get real quiet when we talk about women and their responsibilities. And then as soon as somebody say, well, yeah, he could pull out. Whoa, yeah.
But I'm gonna speak to you.
Stop that because it's not just here. I'm saying it's on social media too. You understand that? Where are the social media posts with millions of likes telling this woman that you're a piece of shit because you slept with this man because he had some money? You decided to have a child because you thought you was going to get a check, and now you living in government housing, harassing the shit out this man that never wanted to be with you in the beginning anyway, but you see he has some 20-inch rims and a couple gold chains, and you thought you was finna get a bag out of him. You know what I mean? Why are we not addressing those women with the same intensity and animosity that we talk about Pookie and Ray Ray and them who have women and children with all these women, and then they go back on the block and continue to do their debauchery? I just want the playing field to be equal all the way across the board. Talk about these ain't shit women too, because there's a bunch of them out there. I'm just saying.
Let me
just to give a little biology. Pulling out don't mean that you ain't gonna get pregnant either, because pre-ejaculation creates children. Let me so y'all know that as well, please.
Let me respond to Quest though and tell him. Let me just say from what I understand why. All right. So we all know that women have held the responsibility of being righteous in the bedroom for a long time. So that type of thing already happens. You know what I mean? I kissed a boy for the first time at 25. Oh my God, why'd you let him kiss you? He can run around and kiss everybody in the world. He can screw everything, and he's the man. On the other hand side, the reason why there's this whole concept of we're talking about Pookie and Ray Ray, and we're not talking about moms necessarily as much. All right. Now, like I said, they already bear the responsibility socially. They're already called the slut, and Nick Cannon's the hero because he got kids and he's doing his thing. But the whole point is, at the end of the day, and this is when I wouldn't say this about a man, right? If this man is having these children, right, and he is stepping up and he is taking care of these children, this is where I start holding the difference at. Because people are like, oh, single parents are this and that. I'm like, no, single parents are the ones who stepped up. Now, there's a lot of women, as you know, you had a mom and you had a mom. Everybody on this place had a mom. All of our moms took care of us. Some of our dads did not. So as much as I can say, yes, your mom maybe made a mistake, maybe the wrong guy, maybe she was tricked, she is not in the category of not shit. She got up and did her thing. And there are plenty of men who got up and did their thing. So I'm not calling those guys not shit. I know a guy who takes care of his kids all by himself. His wife, she's well and alive. She's fine. People are like, what happened to your wife? You know, is she okay? No, she's fine. But she is taking the cat. She took the hat of the not shit parent. I'm not going to call her not shit because I don't know the situation. But let's just say that. She took the hat of the deadbeat parent. The point of the matter is not so much you end up in this situation, you end up in that situation. Yeah, you take accountability. But the thing is, the accountability that I call accountability is when you get up and you take care of your business no matter what. Okay, so that's the thing. So
adoration, you called Nick Cannon evil and he take care of his fucking kids.
No. Listen to what I'm saying though. Nick Cannon, like the lady said very perfectly. Nick Cannon might be sending money to his kids, but he is not being a father in those households for his children.
He's still a good father though.
Listen, I didn't say he was a bad father. Okay,
that's what you said. You said the man was.
You did call him evil though, adoration.
But he said that man was evil.
He is evil.
Nick Cannon, he just said
not evil.
He said, listen, Nick Cannon.
Just because you don't understand him doesn't make him evil.
Listen, he's lying to them. He's setting up scenarios where he sounds like a good guy, and then he releases the toxic side of it.
He's never lied to him though.
Acting like he is going to be a good, loving father in a household, and then he draws you in, and once he gets you locked in, he's like, "Boo, bitch, I lied." Now, I'm not saying that those girls are not accountable for not falling for it, but my point of the matter is, Nick Cannon.
Did Nick Cannon say he does that, or was he making an example on his show? Because we have evidence to prove that he did the contrary as well. Nick Cannon had
but
children and was married and had a functioning household before we got to Nick Cannon now. So that's what we can't always say niggas ain't shit.
No,
so Quez, listen to what I'm saying though. It's
D. I can't hear you. Your mic might be muted.
Am I
or
muted?
You're low. No, I'm talking about D. She's mouthing something, but we can't hear.
Oh.
April Washington says fact straight predatory. D, exactly. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 D.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Might need to turn it up. If you're on your phone, turn it up.
Turn the volume up on your phone.
And then so can we honestly say that Mariah Carey ain't shit because she turned Nick Cannon into what he is?
No.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna read this comment from it. Hold up. We're gonna get back to you.
We got with her.
Hey, hold up. So I want to hear what everybody has to say. But Alexandria, yeah, he draws in women that are looking for that. This is what Dr. Bryant said. He won't attract a high functioning woman because they aren't going for that. They're going to be wined and dined and willing to share. So it goes back to sorry adoration, but yeah, I agree with Quez. They knew a lot of them, especially after like the first 2 or 3, the ones who came afterwards, they knew exactly what they were stepping into and walking into. And me personally, I don't think that Nick Cannon has to lie to these people. He's telling them like this is what it is, and not. He's not lying.
Well, he just said what he does, though.
But
he's not lying to get the cat.
There's enough sick people in the world to go around.
Exactly, and I'm not saying that.
That's the whole point. And Nick Cannon, you can't say that he's not selfish as fuck because having 14 kids, and then you're making an active decision to miss.
I didn't say he wasn't selfish. I'm saying you can't call that man evil. Well, that's what I'm saying.
He just said he was evil.
That you can.
For me being a father and I want to be at the first, there's no way he's at the first baby step for 14 kids. No, and they're the same age.
Melvin, now you're being disingenuous.
No,
yes, you are, sir.
He's not being there.
You being the great father that you are, and I know you are a great human being, sir. And I like to think that all the men that come on this show and on this panel are great men and human beings. Do we always get the results desired from our efforts? No.
No.
To say that man is evil because he's living his life with the results that he's receiving, you know what I'm saying? Whether they're self-induced or not. It's not an evil act. You never know where his mind state could be. He could be saying, I want to produce so many wonderful households and give these children opportunities.
He just
his vision may be skewed, but it doesn't make it evil.
But
it may be coming from a good place. How many times have you done something from a good place and it turned out to fuck that other person over?
No,
I didn't think she hit the like and share button, people.
I didn't gave crackheads money, but they went and smoked crack. So did that make me evil?
One at a time.
I understand what you're saying 100%, but it's different. If you had $100 million, Quez, I know you would be there at your son's track meets. I know you would be there for your wife.
Absolutely.
I know exactly.
But my sons are still in a broken home.
But he has $100 million, and
does
he's
that make
choosing.
Me evil? I still wouldn't live with their mama with $100 million. I still
wait. Hey, hold up.
That's
Melvin,
2 different
adoration.
scenarios.
Melvin, adoration. Hold up, Quez. Then Jess, because you've been so weird, quiet like a church mouse, just like blinking. You know what I'm saying? So just.
I'm sorry.
And D, I know D tried to say something, but she was muted. So
go ahead.
Oh, before we get into this real quick, April Washington says, yeah, he did say he fakes being a nice guy till he gets the draws. He said
sure
that.
Did.
Yes, he did.
And sounds like a player.
Oh Lord Jesus. And then Alexandria Knight says they're looking to be dependent. So many women are willing to share. Child support and community peen is coming with it. After all these children, they know what they're signing up for. This man said publicly, repeatedly, that he will never marry again. Unless it's Mariah Carey.
Yeah. Unless it's Mariah Carey.
Yep, he did say he would marry her again.
Is that evil?
No. If he could.
No, yeah, those women are evil.
Yeah.
Oh, those women are evil. Okay.
Yeah. No, I said Nick Cannon ain't shit, but the women are worse because they're choosing they're choosing that scenario knowing what they're going in for. But Nick Cannon ain't shit. He's like, okay, I'm going global. I'm gonna get a kid here. I'm gonna go shop this continent. I'm gonna get a kid here. But the women know who he is. We're talking about it because it's been publicized for damn near a decade now. Nick Cannon have too many damn kids, and women are still doing it. So it's like,
right.
So
hey, so D,
it's nothing new.
D, mic check. 1 2 1 2. What were you getting ready to say? Is she frozen?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you
now. Go ahead, D.
Yeah. My only thing is he's just ignorant. He don't affect my life. But the point is he want to be that dumb. There's no way he could be a good father. That's my whole point. Is because you can't be there every day at every child at night to make sure they're tucked in, ask them how their day was, sit down at dinner with them, go do homework with them. Just because you're a weekend dad or you're a dad that pops in and out sometimes, you buy a gift here and there, or you buy clothes that are fancy. That's not being a great dad. You have to put time into your child because that's the person that's going to be your protege, so to speak, that you're putting out into the world. So to me, great dad is putting his time in being there. So having these kids all over the place is not a good dad. I don't give a damn how many times he pops in and out. It's not. It's a mess, and it's a big mess because they're going to be in broken homes. And broken homes is a problem nowadays. We're saying that we want, black, people to start the bonding, unity, and all this, and the household. That's where it starts. Is you be in the household, the father be there. Now, how's he gonna be there? He's not. That's the father. Yeah. But we're quick to judge Kamala, and I know I'm jumping a gun, but I'm just saying, we don't look at our own selves, how we acting, but we'll judge and say, this person has to prove their self that they're black. Well, prove yourself that you're a damn good father. Have your ass in the house and raise your own kids. Quit having somebody else raise your child, or be there to tuck them in and say goodnight. Or show them how to wash their damn balls. How about that? Maybe I ain't got to teach your son how to pee then. That's it for me.
It makes a good point.
Checks. She said, mic check.
And it was all bullshit. All that was bullshit.
It's a good point, but it doesn't take
bullshit. So the fathers who don't live with their children. So the fathers, no. I let you speak. I let you speak your piece. I let you. So the fathers who are not living in the household with their children aren't capable of being great fathers, no matter what the circumstances are. Right? That's what you're saying.
No, I don't think.
I said making kids on purpose all over the place.
I made my kids on purpose.
Not all over the place, Quez. You were not.
You did not make your woman to get the pregnant to leave them.
I'm not saying I did what he did. I'm saying I made my kids on purpose, but I don't live there. All Nick Cannon's children live in LA.
But how many households?
You know what I'm saying? He's made several videos of him taking his children to school and going to their recitals, doing whatever it is. What?
That ain't shit.
You say so? But you just said that was part of being a good father, right? So now when he does the good fatherly shit, that's not good enough.
You didn't hear nothing, and that's always the problem. You're not listening.
It's never good. Thank you, adoration.
Dad in the household, though. Maybe it's because I had a dad.
Thank you, adoration. That was the answer I was looking for. It's never good enough. Thank you.
Really?
Alexandra said, "Did you intentionally impregnate to be a co-parent? That's not normal."
No,
I didn't intentionally, but it happens. And to say that
it does,
because now I'm a co-parent and somebody else is over there helping to raise my children, that makes me an ain't shit father because I'm not there.
No,
that's not the same.
The difference is when you were having kids, you were 20, you were in your early 20s.
Not what you said. You're not what you said, but he had a valid point. What
I was saying was my comment.
No, he's not.
It was not that. My statement was not part to him. If he has kids in another household, okay, but do he have 4, 5, 6, and he's still going out making more and more and more?
On purpose?
And Nick Cannon's saying he's going to go make more and more. He don't care.
On purpose.
To me, that is not. So that's what I'm talking about. But we have to listen,
thing is,
and then we
I can understand that point.
Saying.
Yeah, come on, y'all.
I understand.
I can understand that point.
I understand what Dee says, and I understand what Quez says. Because but
the
Nick
point
Cannon's 40.
ran into something. So
hold on, one more second, Quez. Let me go. He's been trying to talk.
I said Nick Cannon's 40. when you, I'm just talking about you because I know you had your kids early on in your early 20s. Nick Cannon's 40. You're not thinking that right now. Hey, I'm just gonna throw the dick anywhere right now, and I'm just gonna take care of the kids and pop. That is a different mindset. Nick Cannon's just like, this is all about me. I can understand people having kids when they're younger, but he is 40 years old, and it's a different mindset. He's not no spring chicken, and he has lupus, and so it's like, come on now, like what are we really doing? But digressing back to what we were saying earlier about it's not only like the fathers. I said the problem is and the responsibility goes on women because most guys, they can't fuck whoever they want. Women have the ability to fuck whoever they want. And so their decisions to have, because in today's society, women are getting flown out, not guys. Women are deciding who they're getting pregnant with, not guys.
Ern got flew out a couple months ago. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
shit! Oh
shit!
I had to do that straight for a little piece of change.
That boy was on a secret vacation in somewhere. He didn't tell us where he went. He just came back with a check. We didn't know what he did.
I came back with a healthy check. You know, to pay some bills.
Something strange for a little bit of change.
I got paid. The
20 is still 20.
Yep. Hey, so just for a little public service announcement, if you go to king3rd.com and buy some merch, I won't have to be flown out to go get some $20.
20 is still 20.
Go ahead, Jess. And we have a whole society. We have a whole society of males that can't get women, because a lot of women are only pushed towards the top earners, the flashiest, the sexiest guys. That's why we have incels now. That's why because the world is a lot smaller. So everybody can get everybody except for males. If you're not attractive, you're fucked. That wasn't the case 60 years ago. That wasn't the case.
No doubt.
40 years ago. That wasn't the case in that wasn't the case in the 90s. You were like, oh yeah, he is ugly, but the nigga, he got a good job, he take care of me.
I ain't never been that person.
Nowadays it's he has to be perfect.
Okay, he gonna stay over there. Say it, D.
Nowadays the guy has to be perfect. And that.
Hey, hold on one sec. When we have another comment, then Jess, I'm gonna let you get off. April Washington says, remember, it's a cesspool of broken, degenerate people. A pimp is a master manipulator. He knows which women to target. To target his prey doesn't know they are his prey.
Okay, yeah, Nick Cannon is a pimp. That's a better word.
Can't argue with that. Can't argue.
No, because he's a manipulator, but he ain't no pimp. He ain't out there having his girls bring back money for him for the benefit. That's
shit.
Did he?
Come on now.
First off, don't use the technical term. You knew damn well what Jess meant when she said it, because we used to call people who jump from woman to woman to woman, who had a bunch of women on their arm, pimps. We knew they wasn't slinging
because essentially that's what they were.
He's using them for their wombs.
Yes, cut it out. They weren't going out there.
How is he using them? What's the benefit of him using them for their wombs?
Because he wants children.
I'll wait. So no, it's the benefit of them.
Okay, if we're talking about Nick Cannon, that's what he's doing.
That's what he wants to do.
He's a narcissist, and he is using people, and he's a master manipulator.
Like, I know the Lord said, "Be fruitful and multiply," but damn it,
that's not.
He took it. He took the word and he perverted it. You know what I'm saying? But
just like most churches.
Yes. Tish
said. Tish, what you say? So all I wanted to say was exactly what Melvin said. Women, we hold all the power. You can choose. Just say no. That's
and if you take it, that's illegal. And then you send his tail to jail.
You kill him. You kill him if he try to take it.
That's why you got to vet him properly. Then that won't be an issue.
All right. Alexandria Knight says, I found it interesting that he was gloating like this is some normal, some feat. His ability to garner these women, but again, he's attracting the women who prior to his superficiality. That's not game. Exactly. Very true.
Yep. Come on. And I honestly think he was laughing like that and kept cutting her off because she was digging she was reading. Yeah,
it was
definitely a deep dig. It was him. And that's why I'm laughing and cutting her off and all that stuff was happening.
He tried to rebut, and I do have a clip of that. He tried.
You said like literally there's been 4 times that you almost went down the altar.
I almost went down.
Yeah. Why hasn't it worked? And whose fault is it? Because you've been talking about accountability. You've been talking about high functioning, and you literally told me in my situation, because of the type of high functioning and low functioning people I'm choosing.
Yep.
Why hasn't it worked for you?
For the first few, I was low functioning. And I was still in my healing journey. And so I law of attracted low functioning.
That happened all 4 or just the first?
The first, I would say like the first 2 or 3. Definitely low functioning of myself.
How were you low functioning that found things that where you thought this was your match, this was your person, and then it still didn't go through because you were low functioning?
I take accountability. It was my fault because I knew all of them were not my person. And so this is why I say it's not their fault, because these men wasn't no infidelity. You know, they weren't beating on me. I attract good men, but I wasn't in the space of being ready to marry them. But I needed them to be good for me, Nick, because I needed something good to be reflected on me for my healing journey.
There we go.
Seemed pretty selfish, but yes.
Yep. She said it herself. She some form of accountability there. She said I was fucked up, and that's what it all is. It's admitting you were fucked up, and you were the problem at the time. She said the guys were good, but she was the fucked up one, and that's what people in general need to do. Like I said before, when I was in my 20s, I was fucked up, misogynist, sexist, egomaniac. Now that I got fat and ugly, I don't have many choices. So I just, I had to cut all that shit out.
Oh my God.
Accountability is where healing starts too. As soon as you start taking accountability from what own your mess, and that's where the healing starts.
Great. Make sure you guys are hitting the like and share button. Thank you to Facebook who's holding in. There's some technical difficulties going on there. YouTubers, April Washington, you've been holding it down. I appreciate you. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and notify on YouTube. Alexander Knight says he's creating a harem, a roster of women to sleep with. He comes to visit the children and get some when he comes through. But see, here's the thing though with Nick Cannon, and I know this to be true with celebrities. Yeah, he may have his baby mothers, quote unquote, but getting the cookie is not necessarily a problem when it comes to a man of his magnitude. So yeah, he has women that he's created children with. But as far as getting cookie, I mean, he can get cookie any other night, every night if he wanted to.
Other than Mariah Carey, who did Nick Cannon date and have a kid with that's on his same level? He dates down now.
Nobody after her.
That's because he dates down.
You have to look back to the source of the problem.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
you're right.
Mariah Carey was it. You know what I mean? She traumatized that man so bad.
Yep, you're right.
When he left her, he had nothing but debauchery in his spirit, and he went out and started to procreate across the world. That's what happened. So really, the person we should be angry at is Mariah, because she's
no way.
Will never
no way. We got be mad at Nick Cannon for being.
She's still singing the same Christmas song from 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I turned this shit off.
Nick Cannon.
Alexander says, "What did Mariah do though?"
He went from drumline. You know what I'm saying? He was in the marching band, and then after he left her, he just turned into straight gigolo. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, he made that gigolo song before her.
I know, and it was horrible. And nobody
believed him.
I'm a gigolo, getting This song only popped because of R. Kelly.
After he left Mariah,
that song only popped because of R. Kelly, the king of R&B.
After he left Mariah, he just became a predator and started dating down and picking up randoms. And nobody gets
Lily White.
High value.
Yep.
April Washington says men on the panel. You know they striving to be like Hugh Hefner, King Solomon, King Saul, King David, and Will Chamberlain. The men on the panel? That's what we're.
Not that she's saying.
Okay. I read that wrong. I'm like, are you trying to strive to be like Will Chamberlain? I ain't got the stamina to do all that.
I strive to be like Denzel Washington. Be a great dad, great husband. Be a family man. be there for his kids.
Come on.
That's how I want to be, like Denzel. That's it.
LeBron James, Denzel Washington, like there's good men out there. Black men out there.
Mm-hmm. And
Good
if you
black.
can't find a good one, you just become one yourself. You know what it takes to be a good man.
Come on.
What examples do you have
Of what?
of a good black man? Give some.
Cam Newton
Myself.
had a dad and a mom in the house.
Quez, you.
No, I'm talking
me.
about for the ones outside of us. For the
Outside
little
of
boys
us?
out there, for the little boys out there
Denzel
who don't
I said
necessarily have a
Denzel
good role
Washington.
model in the home.
Denzel Washington, Keenan Ivory Wayans, the Wayans family.
Celebrities?
I'm just, those are people you would
Everybody
know
knows
because
somebody
we're not
else.
going to know anybody outside
Yeah,
of our
we don't. I don't know all your uncles and shit.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm just going to name people that have name
Start naming
recognition.
your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know
Here's the
these
thing,
niggas.
though.
I'm asking a question
They
because
out
there's
there.
because there's so much emphasis. Well, they're celebrity. Why do you gotta look up the celebrity public figures?
No,
And then
man,
you're not in your line,
there's
so
a
I'm
What if you
playing.
don't look up
I'm
to
asking
I
legitimate.
was just saying
Black
people that
men.
you
Who
know.
wants some up smoke? I'm just
Listen. There is a multitude of very beneficial black men out there that are taking care of their families.
Yes, there are.
Married to their wives, love their children, have grandchildren, have
Agreed.
nieces, nephews. You know what I mean? The notion that black men are the only people who are struggling with this problem
It is a
of
lie.
debauchery is
A
fucking
lie.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of us being the face of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because statistically, you know what I mean? I know y'all hate that word, but
There we
statistically,
go. I love it.
we shouldn't be
I
the
love
face
it.
of that movement. Real
Exactly.
talk. We shouldn't be the face of that movement. You know what I mean? Because statistically, we spend the most time with our children.
Yes,
Period.
sir.
Point blank on stat. But somehow the narrative has been pushed to us, and then everybody gloats from that as they go off and kick their kids off the fucking porch.
Hey man, I concur, man. When I'm driving around the city, you know, when I drive around the city, I'm seeing black men with their children, with their daughters, with their sons, putting them up in the air, going to schools, going to school functions and whatnot. You know, like I see it a lot more than what I did when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? I see it a lot more now, and I think it's because, you know, and it was kind of like a one of those questions, Melvin, where like the answer is like, yeah, you start to know how to be a good man because of what you had or what you didn't have, what you lacked. You know, hey, you have that thing of like, damn, I wish I had this in my life. Well, when I have children, I want to break that generational curse. I want to break that cycle, and I want to do better. So therefore, they're putting more emphasis. Like sometimes it means like, you know, shutting up or having to go curse in the car if they can't stand the baby mom's like, oh, I can't stand this. But they're putting on a good forefront for the children to be a good example. Like, hey, I just seen a TikTok video today where, you know, I guess it looked like it was a separate household, but this young kid was disrespecting his mom. And he said, why are you recording me? He said, whoa, who are you talking to? When you disrespect your mother, you disrespect me. Period. And it's not happening. And he held that little dude account. And that's what it takes. And to start being the example so we can show the little boys how to do better. Just that.
Well, I want to personally challenge everybody that watches this show and participates in social media. Stop hyper focusing on negative and debauchery. Like start threads where you see these black men being positive influences in their children's lives. You see these black women being positive influences in their children's lives and happy couples and church-going families or whatever it is that you want to see. Start focusing in on that because we can't have Real Housewives of every city on Instagram all day. We can't have Twerk Fest, 2025. Like where are the models of exemplary women out there who are doing the 9 to 5, still taking care of their families, being model women, that they say don't exist, and the gentlemen who are at home taking their kids to soccer practice and cooking their wife breakfast in bed, and vice versa. Where are these examples at? Because when you look on Facebook or Instagram, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit, and that's the stuff that's hypersensitive and hyper focused and runs down your timeline. So
Yeah, and that's the narrative they're pushing. Yeah, that's the narrative they're pushing on social media. That's why sometimes you gotta take a time out. And also, too, they've been pushing this narrative forever because we weren't the ones taking out the mail out the homes. Let's keep it there. We were not the one pulling the black males out of the household and selling them in slavery and breeding them because they were strong black men. And some of y'all might not ever hear those stories since they're pulling that history out of books. So speak with your parents because that's not what we were, and that does not have to be who we are now.
Yeah, we have to remember there is a narrative thrown across black people to keep us at a certain whatever. And I brought this up back at the beginning of the podcast because I've been around the world at this point. I've been all around the world. That is a lie. That is.
They know our households are strong if we stay together. If we work together, we are strong people.
A lot of our households, to be honest, are strong. Yes. I'm telling you, when I travel, a lot of our households are strong. And people are, now I'm not saying that people are not married. They be married, but the worst thing you've ever seen in your life, the worst stuff, not living together, kids, crazy stuff. So we gotta also focus on our good stuff. Unfollow, like the Quez mentioned, unfollow all that bad stuff. I follow good healthy stuff that I can relate to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's very important. But this one guy said something so powerful. He said that if you look at all the superhero stories, usually the villain and the hero have about the same backstory. No parents, messed up life, this, that. One chooses, because this happened to me, I'm going to make sure this happens to everybody else. The other person said, because this happened to me, I'm going to make sure this never happens to anybody else. And my dad taught us that story as well, because he also had a bad father and a bad stepfather, like just pretty bad situations. But back in the day, it was kind of like you kind of have to stay. So he said, I'm going to make sure that I don't have that. One married man till the day he died, 9 kids, lived all across the world. You can't do that. Look at LeBron James. Homeless, no dad, this, that. And then look at Cam Newton, 2-parent household. And yet, so it really comes down to, it is your choice. There are role models lying around. There is, guidance if you're seeking that out. And so this go like Quest said, for men and women. I had no example. Well, everybody has different examples to shuffle. And we can find a way to change that and break that stereotype. But to say that black people are the ones with this problem, I promise you, I've lived in 7 countries, met so many people, that is a lie. We are not the ones with that problem.
This is a problem with every nationality, every race.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
So we need a docu-series from the red light district out there in Thailand. And
we doing that with you.
Are we doing our own personal research or
nothing more to say?
All right,
you're not doing shit, Melvin. Sit your ass down.
Melvin gonna be out there. $20 is $20.
I'll just watch.
Alexander says you also couldn't have men in the home years ago if you received welfare. That's where loitering started. They inspected the home, and men weren't allowed to be in the home if you were receiving aid. It was called the men in the house rule.
Yep.
That's still the
they
rule
still
now.
Inspect the home.
That wasn't back in the day. That's still today.
Mm-hmm.
Even more reason not to be on government assistance.
Ain't have none of that.
All right, D, you got anything? You over there quiet?
I'm just trying to stay quiet because when these topics come up like this, it irks me to always feel like it's always about the black woman out here, that we out here like we the dirtiest ones, and we're not. And I get, and it's always everything. And I'm not mistaken because I sit and I listen all the time. That's why I sit quietly. I listen, but I just don't like that. Like when you put down a black woman and say that this is all you see on Facebook, then get your ass off of Facebook then and start looking around, because you'll see some good black women out there. We're not trying to say that men are all assholes or black men ain't no good. If you're hearing that narrative, again, get off of what you're finding that on. If you're seeing that being said somewhere, Instagram, get your ass off of there then and start listening to around everywhere, because we do uplift our black men. We do uplift our black women. I uplift my own black sisters when I see them. But enough is enough. When we do that, we are downgrading ours, and we're sitting on this podcast and we're downgrading the woman. And why? Because that digs in us. It keeps digging. We get enough when we're working hard and coming home to this child or children and just working hard. Our whole bodies go through a whole different lot than men do. You know, y'all don't have to go through the whole different type of emotions and everything that we go through. But it's just the point, like, stop downing it.
So how do we down black women?
It bothers
you. Got to be specific.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Because
I'm curious.
It was a bit downgrading when it said, Quest said, did you not, Quest, say that there's women out here that always fucked up women, this and that, and that they're twerking, and that's all you see on Facebook, right? You said that, correct?
I said that about both sides of the story, though. Like,
yeah,
let's not pick and choose what we listen, D. Let's not pick and choose. I said something about both sections, and when I made my references, it wasn't to denigrate black women. It was to change the narrative of how we perceive each other. That was the whole message behind what I put out. Now, if you felt like it offended you, you know what I'm saying? As my granddaddy would say, yeah, you can only get offended. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. I didn't have anything to do with denigrating black women as much as I do for black women as far as raising them, loving them, being a part of their uplifting. You've never seen me come on here and say anything denigrating to black women. So I think that's kind of unfair that you put that on top of the podcast.
It was unfair
to say that. Hold on, time out. I let you get your issue.
No, because you talk for hours and hours as well and interrupt as well. I'm not trying to interrupt you, no disrespect. But you also you have said just now tonight, like everything I said was bullshit. And that's why would my stuff have to be bullshit?
Did I not apologize because I didn't understand your perspective? Did I not apologize to you?
No, I did not hear apology when.
Oh, okay.
I'll roll the tape back, and I appreciate that. I will, and I appreciate that.
I apologize because I misconstrued the statement. You know what I mean? And I'm fair enough to do that. You know what I mean? I just don't like that the narrative being pushed that we're on this podcast denigrating black women.
Right, because we don't do that shit at all. Like I took offense to that shit. That's not what we sit here and fucking do at all. Never.
If you rolled it back and you hear every time it's about, okay, the black women are doing this. There's some dirty ass black women out there. Why are they have to be the dirty? Maybe they don't. Maybe
we just beat up on.
Nobody said that shit at all.
Maybe they haven't been taught
for an hour. We just beat up on two black men for an hour
in general.
So
you just said women in general.
Asinine. We just beat the shit out of Cam Newton and Nick Cannon for an hour and 48 minutes.
Real shit.
That's what we just did. This entire show was beat up on Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, and to say that
evil players, this shit
is kind of asinine to me. But I need $20, so it is what it is.
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20.
No,
I apologize if you feel that way. I'm just letting you know that's never been my intention.
I take a little offense to that because again, I sit up here and create a platform for where people can feel safe and speak, and then they constantly say, "Well, you always." That's fucking bullshit. Because we don't
it brings
always.
Up the topic.
Because again, at the end of the fucking day, it's a shit that happens within communities, even within our people. So the one thing that I'm not and never ever going to do is sit up here and walk around like, everything's hunky dory. No, we got good, we got bad, we got ugly, and with every single thing that we do, whether it be our people, whether it be not our people, we talk about shit that people can relate to and understand. So at the end of the day, it's all about positivity because we're trying to get that negative aspect out of there. I literally just said that I see a lot of black fathers out there with their kids, shit that I didn't even see like years ago. So again, what I'm saying is that now we have to be the examples, and I'm speaking to men as far as being responsible. I even just said that, hey, yeah, women do have a role in playing and having children, but we as men have to be responsible too, as opposed to what we're sticking ourselves into. And at the end of the day, no, because I'll let you speak. It's about being honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with your fucking self, then you're not going to be honest with nobody fucking else. So at the end of the day, if you're not going to be responsible with your fucking self, then don't be responsible with nobody else. Sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Other than that, I'm talking about accountability on both parts. But when it comes to a specific thing, if you throw a rock in the fucking crowd and it hit dog holler, that ain't my fucking fault. It's nobody's fucking fault.
It's not nobody's fucking fault. But when it comes to a fucking woman and hearing it over, all I'm saying is that, and it wasn't about your comment. We can agree on that as well. But at the end of the fucking day, then if it comes to a point where you keep hearing about, okay, the women, black women, there's some dirty ass black women out there. They're dirty, this and that. Okay, if there is, maybe they ain't been taught. Maybe they haven't. Why do we have to say that? Why do we have to do that? How about we try to teach them or promote them, or don't even include them? They want to twerk and act ignorant. They're young. They're in their 20s. They're young. So I wouldn't even
But you're
call
the
them
same one that would tell
women.
dudes to pull up their pants and stuff and sagging and all this other shit. So we need to stop. We need to quit.
McDonald's ain't shit.
Right. So, but Alexandria says, there's negativity online for everyone.
You got that right.
Yeah. Alexandria said, yeah, there's negativity online for everyone. Gender, sexual orientation, race, income level, etc. You have to take the internet with a grain of salt. But I've never experienced any negative narratives being fostered on this podcast. Thank you.
I would say that the point that we were talking about
on that note,
we have to stop channeling
hey, I love you, Adoration, but on that note, because we're running out of time, so I got to end this stream. But I try to keep it underneath 2 hours so we can get the
I love y'all on purpose, man. And
hey, go visit KingThird.com. You can get the merch.
Evening, and it is what it is.
Go to KingThird.com, get the merch. Go to DropYour3Cent.com and get the merch. Hey, so Melvin don't have to do $20. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
A mouth to mouth.
Trying to get Melvin off the streets.
Right. I'm gonna go get some sleep.
A mouth to mouth.